Hello students, I am Kamaljit Sharma, PGT Accountancy, teaching in Cambridge International School, the SUA. This lecture is prepared for the subject of Business Studies for Grade 11 Commerce. Students, in the last session we have studied the topic of cooperative societies from the chapter 2, that is forms of business organization. We learned about the meaning of cooperative societies, its features, merits, demerits, etc. Today we will learn about another form of business organization, which is partnership. I hope this lesson would benefit you in understanding the concepts. Chapter 2, we will study about the sole proprietorship mode of business, Hindu undivided family business, partnership firms, cooperative societies, and joint stock companies. This chapter number 2, that is forms of business organization, we will study the following topics, that is identification of different forms of business organizations, explanation of features, merits and limitations of select forms of business organization, distinction between various forms of business organizations, and analysis of factors determining choice of an appropriate form of business organization. Students, sole proprietorship, an oldest and most popular form of business organization, not in India but all over the world. It is the most suitable for small scale business. It is said that one man control is the best from the point of view of efficiency and profitability, provided that one man is big enough to manage everything indefinitely. It suffers from some limitations also, like limited financial resources, limited managerial capacity, etc. The limitations of sole proprietorship organization gave birth to partnership. It is also a popular form of business organization. In this session, we shall discuss partnership form of business organization. In simple words, partnership is an association of two or more persons to pursue a business activity and share the profits of the business. But according to the Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, partnership is the relation between persons who have agreed to share profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. Persons who have entered into partnership with one another are individually called partners and collectively called firm. But the name under which the business is carried is called the firm's name. A partnership has no separate legal entity apart from the partners constituting it. Start with the features of partnership. The first feature is formation. The partnership form of business organization is governed by the Indian Partnership Act 1932. It comes into existence through a legal agreement wherein the terms and conditions governing the relationship among the partners, sharing of profits and losses, and the manner of conducting the business are specified. It may be pointed out that the business must be lawful and run with the motive of profit. Thus, two people coming together for charitable purposes will not constitute a partnership. Feature is liability. The partners of a firm have unlimited liability. Personal assets may be used for repaying debts in case the business assets are insufficient. Further, the partners are jointly and individually liable for payment of debts. Jointly, all the partners are responsible for the debts and they contribute in the proportion to their share in business and as such are liable to that extent. Individually too, each partner can be held responsible repaying the debts of the business. However, such a partner can late recover from other partners an amount of money equivalent to the shares in liability defined as per the partnership agreement. The third one is risk bearing. The partners bears the risk involved in running a business as a team. The reward comes in the form of profit which are shared by the partners in an agreed ratio. However, they also share losses in the same ratio in the event of the firm incurring losses. The next feature is decision making and control. The partners share amongst themselves the responsibility of decision making and control of day to day activities. Decisions are generally taken with mutual consent. Thus, the activities of a partnership firm are managed through the joint efforts of all the partners. Feature is continuity. Partnership is characterized by lack of continuity of business since the death, retirement, insolvency, or insanity of any partner can bring to an end to the business. However, the remaining partners may, if they so desire, continue the business on the basis of new agreement. The next feature is the membership. The minimum number of members needed to start a partnership firm is 2, while the maximum number as per Rule 10 of the company's Miscellaneous Rule 2014 at present can be 50. Next one is mutual agency. The definition of partnership highlights the fact that it is a business carried on by all or any of the partners acting for all. In other words, every partner is both an agent and principal. He is an agent of other partners as he represents them and thereby binds them through his acts. He is a principal as he too can be bound by the act of other partners. Now come the merits of partnership. The first merit is ease of formation and closure. A partnership firm can be formed easily by putting an agreement between the prospective partners into place whereby they agree to carry out the business of the firm and share risk. There is no compulsion with respect to registration of the firm. Closure of the firm too is an easy task. Next merit is balanced decision making. The partners can oversee different functions according to their areas of expertise. Because an individual is not forced to handle different activities, this not only reduces the burden of work but also leads to fewer errors in the judgments. As a consequence, decisions are likely to be more balanced. The next one is more funds. In a partnership, the capital is contributed by a number of partners, thus makes it possible to raise larger amount of funds as compared to a sole proprietor and undertake additional operations when needed. The next one is sharing of risk. The risk involved in running a partnership firm are shared by all the partners. This reduces the anxiety, the burden and stress on individual partners. The next feature is secrecy. A partnership firm is not legally required to publish its accounts and submit its reports. Hence, it is able to maintain confidentiality of information relating to its operations. Now comes the limitations of partnership. The first one is unlimited liability. Partners are liable to repay debts even from their personal resources in case the business assets are not sufficient to meet its debts. The liability of partners is both joint and several, which may prove to be a drawback for those partners who have greater personal wealth. They will have to repay the entire debt in case the other partners are unable to do so. The next limitation is limited resources. There is a restriction on the number of partners and hence contribution in terms of capital investment is usually not sufficient to support large scale business operations. As a result, partnership firms face problems in expansion beyond a certain size. The next limitation is possibility of conflicts. Since partnership is run by a group of persons wherein decision making authority is shared, so difference in opinion on some issues may lead to disputes between partners. Further, decisions of one partners are binding on other partners. Thus, an unwise decision by someone may result in financial ruin for all others. In case a partner desires to leave the firm, this can result in termination of partnership as there is a restriction on transfer of ownership. The next limitation is the lack of continuity. Partnership comes to an end with the death, retirement, insolvency, or lunacy of any partner. It may result in lack of continuity. However, the remaining partners can enter into a fresh agreement and continue to run the business. The next limitation is lack of public confidence. A partnership firm is not legally required to publish its financial reports or make others related information to the public. It is therefore difficult to any member of the public to ascertain the true financial status of a partnership firm. As a result, their confidence of the public in partnership firm is generally low. Discuss the types of partner. The first type is active partner. An active partner is one who contributes capital, participates in the management of the firm, shares its profits and losses, and is liable to an unlimited extent to the creditors of the firm. These partners take actual part in carrying out business of the firm on behalf of other partners. Next type is sleeping or dormant partner. Partners who do not take part in the day-to-day activities of the business are called sleeping partners. A sleeping partner, however, contributes capital to the firm, shares its profits and losses, and has unlimited liability. The next is secret partner. A secret partner is one whose association with the firm is unknown to the general public. Other than this distinct feature, in all other aspects, he is like the rest of the partners. He contributes to the capital of the firm, takes part in the management, shares its profits and losses, and has unlimited liability toward the creditors. Nominal partner. A nominal partner is one who allows the use of his or her name by a firm but does not contribute to its capital. He or she does not take active part in managing the firm, does not share its profits and losses, but is liable like other partners to the third parties for the repayment of the firm's debts. Type is partner by estoppel. A person is considered to be a partner by estoppel if, through his or her own initiative, conduct, or behavior, he or she gives an impression to others that he or she is a partner of the firm. Such partners are held liable for the debts of the firm because, in the eyes of the third party, they are considered partners, even though they do not contribute capital or take part in its management. The next type is partner by holding out. A partner by holding out is a person who, though is not a partner in a firm, but knowingly allows himself or herself to be represented as a partner in a firm. Such a person becomes liable to outside creditors for repayment of any debts which have been extended to the firm on the basis of such representation. In case he is not really a partner and wants to save himself from such a liability, he should immediately issue a denial clarifying his position that he is not a partner in the firm. If he does not do so, he will be responsible to the third party for any such debts. Now we'll discuss about types of partnership. First is partnership at will. This type of partnership exists at the will of the partners. It can continue as long as the partners want and is terminated when any partner gives a notice of withdrawal from partnership to firm. The second one is particular partnership. Partnership formed for the accomplishment of a particular project, say construction of a building or an activity to be carried on for a specified time period is called particular partnership. It dissolves automatically when the purpose for which it is formed is fulfilled or when the time duration expired. Next one is general partnership. In general partnership, the liability of partners is unlimited and joint. The partners enjoy the right to participate in the management of the firm and their acts are binding on each other as well as on the firm. Registration of the firm is optional. The existence of the firm is affected by the death, lunacy, insolvency or retirement of the partners. The next one is limited partnership. In limited partnership, the liability of at least one partner is unlimited, whereas the rest may have limited liability. Such a partnership does not get terminated with the death, lunacy, or insolvency of the limited partners. The limited partners do not enjoy the right of management and their acts do not bind the firm or the other partners. Registration of such partnership is compulsory. Now we will discuss about partnership deed. A partnership is a voluntary association of people who come together for achieving common objectives. In order to enter into partnership, a clear agreement with respect to the terms, conditions and all aspects concerning the partners is essential so that there is no misunderstanding later among the partners. Such an agreement can be oral or written. Even though it is not essential to have a written agreement, it is advisable to have a written agreement as it constitutes an evidence of the conditions agreed upon. The written agreement which specifies the terms and conditions that govern partnership is called partnership deed. The partnership deed generally includes the following aspects, that is name of the firm, nature of business and location of business, duration of business, investment made by each partner, distribution of profit and losses, duties and obligation of the partners, salaries and withdrawals of the partners, terms governing admission, retirement and expulsion of a partner, interest on capital and interest on drawings, procedures for dissolution of the firm, preparation of accounts and their auditing, and methods of solving disputes, etc. You partners may add more clauses through to these points. Students, it's homework time. In this session, we have studied about one more form of business, that is partnership. We discussed its meaning, features, merits, limitations, types of partners, types of partnership and partnership deed. Learn these topics to understand the more concepts of this chapter. I hope this session would be beneficial for all those who have a keen interest in business. Till then, stay home, stay safe, but study regularly. In the next session, we will continue our next topic. Till then, dear students, to stop the COVID-19, stay home. If you don't think about yourself, think about your loved ones. So stay home, please, but study regularly.